threat. It's a very real threat. I've read in the newspaper that hospitals will get their medical records databases hacked and they lock them up. And then the bad guys require, $1 million or $2 million or $5 million ransom. And these are hospital records. You've got people in the ICU where the doctors can't access the computer database until the ransom is paid. And so it's a terrible situation. The criminals are getting more and more sophisticated. The court system has been attacked several times. Nothing successful as far as ransomware attack or hacking the system. They've been mainly denial of service attacks at this point, where the perpetrators basically overload our servers through www.courts.gov, through the e-filing site, and through WCCA, which is commonly referred to as CCAP. And instead of getting millions of data we usually get, it goes to 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, and it shuts down the servers. And the only way we can protect ourselves at that point is to shut off access to the outside world to keep the threat from coming in. We've got to keep all the judges and the clerks' computers running in the courthouses. And so to protect those, to keep those running, we have to shut down access to the outside world. And so the CCAP staff that we have is just a phenomenal staff. And I think, this is me talking, I think it's the best state court system, IT system in the entire country. And I go to national conferences for state court administrators and chief justices twice a year. We are the envy of the country. People say you got CCAP, it's a homegrown internal IT department. Most states contract with private vendors to set up their e-filing system or their IT system, and then you're next in line who's going to pay more, and it takes a while to get the changes done that are needed. If I need a change here, I call the CIO, Tom Flitter, who works for me, say, let's do this, and then as soon as we can do it, it's done. So it's just an amazing staff. As many of you know, this is a pinch point in the system. You can't get alcohol or drug tests on blood samples or other body fluid testing to the crime lab. It can really delay a case. And so we're hoping that the legislature and the government will provide these increased resources to those labs to help take care of that little bottleneck problem, which needs to be addressed. And I would appreciate your help in continuing to promote that cause and the necessity of getting that item fully funded. And what we did is we pulled together items of common interest in our various budget requests and put them into a coalition package and presented a unified front to the governor's office and to the legislature. It basically said, we need these resources to keep the criminal justice system functioning properly. The pandemic created a worse backlog problem than we had before. Basically, low pay for ADAs and public defenders was crippling the system. We didn't have the lawyers in place to protect individual rights and to prosecute criminal cases, to provide public safety that we needed. And I'm very pleased to say I was there at Joint Finance, the committee hearing, when they considered the Criminal Justice Coalition package that relates to DA pay and public defender pay. It was unanimous. I didn't see the two sides agree on anything all day long, but when this came up, it was unanimous. And it was funny, I think the Democrats had a certain hourly rate, the Republicans raised a bucket hour. So they were like trying to outdo each other, who could do a better job. And so it passed unanimously, the motion passed unanimously as it relates to public defender pay and DA pay. I think the starting pay right now for an assistant DA or a state public defender, assistant public defender, is mid-50s. This is going to put it around $75,000. Plus the private bar rate that the public defender pays to private lawyers who take the public defender cases was a ridiculously low $70 an hour. That's been raised to $100 an hour. I think they increased travel from $25 to $50 an hour as well. So that should help us attract more legal talent to those critical positions to provide both public safety and to protect individual rights of those people who are accused of committing crime. And I was talking to the legislative liaison for the Public Defender's Office, Adam Plotkin. He said, Judge, what we're willing to do now, since this takes effect July 1st, assuming the budget is finalized by then, we're willing to take back county appointment cases for public defender eligible clients, which would help tremendously a lot of counties. As you know, the counties are paying for these county appointments, which the judges make to protect the right to counsel under the state and federal constitution. Public Defender's Office is willing to take those cases back, keep the same lawyer in place, hopefully, and taking over payment from that point forward out of the state public defender budget rather than out of the county